Back over to CJ. CJ drives baseline. Early turnover for the Blazers. Pacers the other way. Warren able to feed it. Early bucket in this one. Alize Johnson getting the start for the Pacers. Dame feeding Nurk up top. Big fella down low. Got plenty of space to operate here. Nurk, left shoulder.
You love to see it. Terry Stotts said he's just going to open it up, allow his players to kind of figure things out. They will have the support of their coaching staff, of course, but when you might see a team advancing further than they would have if things were normal, if you had home court advantage, if you did finish the season. Carmelo, one of those players all over the place, the body looking good, in shape. But Jordan, I think about Carmelo coming back with the front line of Nurk and Zach. All of those guys can work together.
Sampson and Brogdon whipping it around the outside. Warren, 8 left to shoot on the shot clock. Warren with the pull-up jumper over Nurk, splashes that one.
Things like that, and getting easier shots. So I think that's something that we really missed, from him.
Blazers lead by 3. Dame sinks the free throw after the defensive 3 and the key call on the Pacers. And nice pass from Collins.
In the post up, and CJ with the opportunistic cut.
Early contributions from Nurkic and Collins in their first game back. Warren knocks down the stat sheet. 8 to shoot. Brogdon whips it around the baseline. Melo scoops it up. Blazers back the other way.
That's a pull-up.
Melo going to go ahead and put a body in him and draws the foul on Sampson.
Certain times.
Well, Lamar, it's so interesting, too. You come back to play after 4 months. You've been doing individual workouts, scrimmages with your own team. Now you're facing another opponent for the first time in a long time.
And then not only facing that opponent, but you're adding those pieces. So it's a fill-out process. But throughout that, as T.J. Warren gets
half games for that 8 spot. 3-pointers no good. Blazers once again hustling back. Dame feeds it up top. Yusuf Nurkic with great positioning. And he gets...
This game is not about win-loss. So the importance of this game comes through execution more than anything. Oh, Zach, that's how you feel? The season was postponed. I was heading to a She-Hoop series, as you hear Melo loud and clear with a good pass and a finish from Zach, but postponed. And so we're just glad that we got back to this point.
Melo with a couple of aggressive rebounds. Zach with some more strength on the finish. CJ's 3.
When Damian was not able to play, when he was injured, CJ was one of the best point guards in the league. Looked natural. Nothing looked forced, like a 2-guard trying to figure out the point guard position. As Indiana knocks down the shot, all you need from the Blazers is 8 good games. And with the mindset that Damian has, as he knocks down a 3.
Blazers a potential play-in game if they maintain that 9 seed. Zach Collins with the rejection. 10 to shoot on the shot clock. McConnell wants to try the giant again. Pump fake on the outside. That's one of 2 Holiday brothers.
For Dame and the other help defenders when they remember, oh yeah, we got Zach out there. He don't need any help.
Yusuf Nurkic operating in the post. Spin move to the right once again. And there's buckets. He's got 4 points, 6 rebounds already in this first quarter.
Don't mess around. Had me pulling the thermometer out early
in this first quarter. Starters have stayed in this entire first quarter for the Blazers. We've seen a substitution for the Pacers. Dame working the 2-man game with Nurk.
Nice.
Dame whips it to Collins. Collins whips it to Collins. Collins with the easy stuff. And the Blazers push their lead to 9. Portland very efficient on both ends of the court right now. 1 second differential between shot and game clock here. CJ. The dribble at a half court right now, defended by Holiday. Getting a feel for where the defense is going to sit at. Yusuf Nurkic waiting patiently to set the screen. CJ works around it.
Now.
The fundamentals leading to the 6 points, 6 rebounds. CJ 9 points, 4 of 6 from the field. Blazers shot 60% as a team in that first quarter, holding the Pacers, Lamar, to just 30% from the field.
It looked good. More important than a score is how do you play Are you on a string? Are you communicating well?
Racing it down, tries to challenge Anthony Simons. Good contest. Horde grabs the rebound. Blazers back in business.
Yeah, McConnell got a step on Ant, but Ant has the hops to distract the shot. Oh, my goodness. Them boys eating down there.
If you need a refresher, folks, prior to the stop, Gary Trent Jr. was one of the great stories of this team, coming off the bench, playing with all sorts of confidence on both ends of the floor.
He was the real deal. And Coach Johnson said that his play has continued that way. He's gotten better. Gary Trent Jr. has talked about how some of the veterans.
Anthony Simons, his cash from beyond the arc, hits the front of the rim. Pacers regroup. McConnell whips it over to McDermott. McDermott. Holiday in the corner. So the Holidays have pretty in this one as the Pacers starting to find their shooting touch. They trail by 4.
It's going to be part of that figuring it out process and defensive transition, communicating things early. And Jordan, this is where you look at the elements of the environment as Mario was huge on the road for the Blazers in that one. And he, like Zach, like Nurk, is looking to pick up where he left off.
Rio knocks down the free throw for the three-point play. McDermott, turnaround.
Better guards in his time in the NBA with his assist-to-turnover ratio. Some of that comes from just not attacking a whole lot. He's out there to orchestrate, make the swing pass like that. There goes an assist.
Expected to go in the next scrimmage for the Blazers. Leaf tries to muscle through a forest of Blazers. Can't get that one to fall. Portland comes back the other way. Here comes Gary Trent Jr. in.
Closer to that last matchup against the Lakers than the 2 at Moda Center, where the front line from the Lakers really just dominated the Blazers. And that's something that the Lakers front line has been doing to the entire league.
Simons feeds Gabriel. Gabriel almost gets the... Yeah, I usually meditate at about 5 p.m. on I-5, to be honest. Horde's dunk is no good. Pacers go back the other way. That traffic is no joke sometimes, my friend.
Make sure you keep your eyes open.
Always. I ain't trusting no self-driving car or nothing like that. Oladipo kicks it up top to Brogdon. Pacers have gone with the substitution here. Warren, Sampson, Oladipo, Brogdon. As that 3 is good. Sampson, Oladipo, Brogdon. As that 3 is good. So the Pacers starting to find the connection from outside. There's 6-3 on this one. So here's Gabriel. He can handle the rock now too, Lamar.
Yes, he can. And he can shoot it.
Gabriel gets it inside, pushes it down after the Blazers force the turnover. Spin move, denied. Warren with the pick. In transition. Sidestep, Gary Trent Jr. That's just you certainly don't as you sit back and listen to the acoustics of HP Fieldhouse as Sampson fights for the rebound, gets the board.
Execution to get to the shot is exactly what you want. Zach up top, able to see over the top of the defense, find Gary Trent who runs the right cut. Ooh, smooth finger roll for Anthony.
And the decision-making by Anthony Simons in midair. He's one of those guys that has enough bounce to have a thought in midair.
Yeah, he can figure it out. He can figure it out. He can have a conversation up there with himself, think about what he wants to do.
I barely got time to blink nowadays when I jump Lamar. Brogdon working his way in the paint. That flip shot falls.
I think those are retired. But you know what? I had a conversation with his father, Charles, about it when he was telling me about some of Anthony's, the hard work and getting the athleticism. I wore those strength shoes at a time.
And Collins gathered up. Sumner tries to handle Gabriel, scoops it up, feeds Hazonia in transition. Hazonia passes by Brogdon. Doing a fine job sharing the ball as well, too. 10 assists. But as Lamar mentioned, 5 block shots as we pick up action. Once again, Brogdon defended by Dame. Warren trying to get this one up over Zach Collins.
Steadily improved each season.
He really has. You look at his chase down block against Denver last year in the playoffs as one of the big defensive plays of the playoffs. So CJ getting it done on that side. And Brogdon.
Watch him in one-on-one defense. It is not often that he just gets beat on direct line drives.
Oladipo
gets the open look.
Collins fights for the offensive glass, gets stripped away. Brogdon tries to heave it down court. Touch pass to Warren. Warren up and under. Gets the foul.
This experience is different.
Carmelo bulldozes his way to the rim. Nurk gets the offensive top of the backboard. Blazers will walk it back up. Carmelo reaches up and over. Carmelo Anthony. He's got 8.
It's a great look from Dame. Dame again changing the dimensions of the court defensively. Malcolm Brogdon has to pick him up 30 feet from the basket. Malcolm responds.
Knocked down his second three of the game. That one's no good. Brogdon pushes it back down. Warren. A couple of steps right there, but officials don't see it. Here comes Brogdon trying to go one-on-one against Collins. Deep three from Brogdon, and Malcolm
as a whole. They've come out a bit sharper this second half.
Collins gets a strip. Here comes Oladipo. Tries to contest Nurk. Nurk denies. You probably have to be careful as far as what film you put out there.
Don't show
the big-time matchup against the Grizzlies to start your first of 8 games.
Don't show them too much. Although Dame has put out enough film this season for everybody to know. But what's interesting about that, you'll still see teams, as Nurk goes to the right-hand jump hook, looks pretty. See teams that it's almost like they forgot that he can really shoot from 40 feet. It's just so unnatural. You're not used to guarding out there like a guy's about to pull up.
Well, we saw during that stretch run in January how teams were defending him as soon as he crossed the half
up, whether it's a push off, screening incorrectly.
CJ's second foul of the game. Oladipo feeds it inside. Spin move is good as for this first game right here.
No, you can't. When you look at how important he was last season, the only starting center that had a better net rating than Nurk, who's going to get 2 shots at the line.
On Dame and CJ and what they can do individually.
One of the many interesting facets of this restart. And there are a lot of questions that are unanswered. And it will be a flow as you go type of situation.
Sampson's flip shot is good for the Pacers. Sampson with 7 points on the afternoon. Nurk. Nurk up top, bounce pass to CJ, and that's what it brings CJ. Gets rejected.
He can shoot those. He's been shooting a lot over the last few weeks. And Jordan, his second season with the team, going into training camp as Mario pulls up for the 3. Nurk in training camp when the doors were closed and everybody wasn't allowed to be in there. So a lot of people didn't get to see this. He was shooting pull-up jumpers, 3s off the dribble.
McDermott answers back with a 3 of his own. So Indiana, some red-hot three-point shooting. McDermott, the third Pacer in double figures. Blazers, just 4 of 18 from beyond the arc. Nurk finds CJ. CJ gets that one over the Hazonia. Feeds CJ. CJ in the key. Left-handed scoop shot. No good. Leaf recovers. McConnell back with it. McConnell out to Holiday. Holiday swings it over to Leaf. Hands off to McDermott. Hazonia closing out on Holiday. 10 to shoot on the shot clock. Holiday through the contact.
He could play at this level because of his size, and he has answered that question.
In his second year, averaging 9.5 points. He's got 8 already off the bench. He and his brother.
Each shot, looking for that 3-point shot or a layup, gets to the free throw line. So there's a lot more freedom to shoot the ball now.
Dame, a beautiful feed out to Hazonia in transition. Hazonia, Gary Trent Jr., no hesitation. Grazes off the side of the rim, and McConnell looks to push. McDermott thought about the lob, but McConnell going to drop.
Matching up a little bit out of the 3-2. So he goes up to set the screen and see how are you going to react. Pacers bottom line, and it forces that shit on the 2. So good heady IQ play from Wenyen Gabriel and the Blazers.
7 points for Gary Trent Jr. as his little jumper connects. Holiday from the corner for the Pacers, and it's been the 3. You see all the colors, you see all the graphics to give that slight feel of a home court, but as we said at the top of the show, really have to credit the NBA for the atmosphere that they created down here in Orlando.
Yeah, and also what you see on the court is the Black Lives Matter.
They always talk about how difficult that point guard position is, the adjustment there because of the different looks you see from defenses, but also playing out of that pick and roll.
And then also being able to have a command of the team. That's really tough for young point guards to be able to come in the league and get command of the entire roster, the respect. And that's something we saw Damian Lillard do from his first season, Rookie of the Year, and has not led the environment. No camera women and men on the baseline. You know, you don't have to watch out for Bruce Ely after you go dunk the ball and you're getting ready to go run back the other way. this roster is comprised of all of those kind of guys. So for Zach, he's in the room reading in his off time. For Dame, he's got the studio set up as Holiday gets
to double digits on the afternoon. But once again, you just see the camaraderie of this team. And Dame and Nurk finally able to take the court together for the first time. Nice feed by Gary Trent Jr. For Wenyen Gabriel, a guy who just had 6 in his previous 28 outings. And Jalen.
10 Blazers have hit the scoring column. They're getting hype out there.
Lamar getting his ATP. I'm sure you folks at home really care about our ATP. Pacers coming back in transition. Ball flying everywhere for Indiana.
Another stop for Wenyen Gabriel.
Jalen Hort with the left hand tries to get to the cup. Tough flip shot, but that's the mission was accomplished in this game.
Certainly was.
For the Pacers, Johnson, Leaf, Sumner, Bowen the second, and Mitchell will get that out on the court.
A play at a block there. Tried to get the swipe, didn't get it. That's all right.
Blazers 7 blocks on the game. Wenyen Gabriel accounting for 4 of them. Gary Trent Jr. gets into the paint, scoops it up. Leaf, his 3 bounces off. Gary Trent Jr. collects. Just under 3 minutes left in this final period. Hazonia knocked down a couple of threes. They call
the score is close coming down the wire. They're going to pick up the intensity.
Anthony Simons handling it right now. Jalen Adams checking in for Mario Hazonia. Ant will get fouled on the 3 against Gabriel. Gabriel leading shot blocker in this game. Sumner turns it over. And here comes Adams. Adams pushing in transition. Make that 11 Blazers scoring on the afternoon. And just like that, Portland trailing the Pacers by 3 with 2 minutes left.
The Bonnie, St. Bonaventure, Jalen Adams. Go get that.
Mitri Long, tough. Mitri Long. Crossover dribble into the 3. That one's way off. Back come the Blazers. Gary Trent Jr. trying to push it through the middle of that zone. Gets wrapped up by a couple.
Forgot to call out Coach Pargo. First year with the Blazers, has done a tremendous job. Was a really good player in his own right.